2019, September 29th. All right, now on this recording, based off you, Charles, and your situation, what you're going through, we're going to talk about how to handle your interview from the beginning to the end so you can make your mark and get paid what you want to get paid. Okay, so what we're going to do is, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to start by talking about how to handle the salary negotiation from the beginning of the call and at the end of the call. And then we're going to talk about how to build value by telling them what you know about them. Okay, number one. Then building value by talking about yourself. And then building value with telling them how you can help them. 1, 2, 3. And number 4, that's where you talk about the negotiation, how you go about ending the interview. All right? So let's get started. Now, what I want to say is this. Okay, before we get into this, remember now, again, in this entire interview, what's going on is you're trying to build altitude so you have power in the negotiation. Because when it starts, here they are with the career opportunity, and here you are, right? So then
Give me 1 second.
Good.
Hey, can I call you back in 30 minutes, please? Huh? Okay, yeah, I'm taking that class over there. Okay, I'll call you back, okay?
Okay. So here we go. All right, so remember now, in the entire interview process, okay, here they are, they have value over you, they have negotiation over you, they have altitude over you. As you're going through the interview process, you're building your value, and as you're building your value, you are increasing your altitude in negotiation. So at first, they're trying to see if you actually meet their standard for who they want to hire. And once you meet their standard, you want to go above that and show that you are the best choice, the obvious choice who they should pick, by showing that you have very high value, very high altitude. And then it flips from you needing them to them needing you.
Need me, yeah.
Exactly. That's the idea we want to be. And the best way to make sure this happens is you want to lead the entire negotiation. You want to lead the interview. You're going to lead it. Okay? So it's important. So what's going to happen is you're going to start with, right, talking about, you're going to tell them how you're going to start it. Right? You're going to tell them how you're going to run things, basically. And you're going to start with talking about what you know about them, talking about yourself, talk about them, how you can help them, and then, so again, look what happens. So you are talking about them, what you know about the company, you're doing research on them, then you're going to talk about yourself, and then how you can help them, and then you're going to end the interview, right, where you do the negotiation stuff at the end. So it's kind of like how it's going to be. So here's an example. So first, let's talk about how to deal. We've already talked about the mistakes that you don't want to make, right? We already talked about the mistakes in the last video. We talked about all the mistakes you're making. We talked about mistakes that had to do with being abstract, telling them you're being open, telling them that you will work for free with internship, doing things that would make you look like that you're not the best option. We talked about how to handle experience, that question. We talked about how to demonstrate your value. So we already talked about all the mistakes and problems you're making. But now let's talk about really how to go through the entire interview process. Okay, again, this is more specifically based on you and what you're doing for your situation. All right. Okay, so number 1, let's talk about how to handle the talk when it comes to the salary. Okay. So what's going to happen is when you start to interview, okay, when you first get started, tell them this. Say, hey, thank you for taking the time to have this interview with me today. First, I would like to start with telling you what I know about your company. And then I'd like to tell you about myself. And then I want to tell you about how I can help your company and provide value to your company. And then at the end, we can talk about salary if we need to.
Yeah.
or any other questions you may have for me. Sound good? So that's how you start the interview and you lead it. Follow me? Okay. Now I need you on point here with me. Okay.
Yeah.
So sit up, lean in, right? Eye contact, eye contact.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
as if you were in the interview. Eye contact is very important. Remember, kind of turn off to the side a little bit how I am. Don't sit head on. Kind of turn to the side a little bit like this.
Okay.
But don't sit in the middle of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Good. Okay. Now. Okay. So you're gonna tell them how you would like to conduct it, and then you're gonna say, okay, it sounds good. And then you can start off by saying this. Say, by the way, before we get started, I want to let you know that before we talk about anything when it comes to compensation, first I would like to go through this whole interview process with you and your company so you can understand my value and I can understand your value so that we can work together on a deal that makes sense for the both of us. And I'd like to talk to you about that at the end when it makes sense to talk about that. Sound good? They say, yeah, it sounds good. So then you start with telling them what you know about them, right? So you tell them, say, hey, you know what? I've done some research on your company, and here are a few things that I found out. And main thing is you want to tell them about really like that you know about their purpose, their mission, like why are they here? Tell them that you understand the problem they're solving in the marketplace. And you want to tell them this and tell them that you understand really like what they specialize in. Tell them that you understand their main offer, their main solution. By telling them these things, this makes them feel like that you are invested in their company. If you don't know shit about their company, you're already giving them a reason not to hire you because they feel like that you're not invested in their brand or their company. So it's very important that you start off the negotiation that you show them that you understand exactly who you're dealing with and that you're already invested in their company to begin with. Follow me? So these are the few key things you want to know. If you don't do this, you're already setting yourself up to a position to where you cannot negotiate. Okay. And for this company, we know this company, what was it called again? NPC, right?
Oh yeah, no country.
North Country Product.
Yeah.
Right. So we know that they specialize
Provide service, retail, hospitality.
Yeah. They provide software that helps solutions for the customers, right? They help deal with first point of contact for customers that need technical assistance over the phone or email, right? So you want to understand a few things about the company beforehand. It's very important. Everything that I just listed, you need to know that information going in the interview, and then you tell them that. So before you even talk about yourself, you tell them that you understand them, and you show them that you're invested in their company. Because by telling them this information, it shows that you took your own time to learn about them. And that shows that you are invested in the company. All right? Yeah. They want people that are invested in the company. That's number one. Okay, so once you do that, okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is that you're going to want to build your value. Okay? In the list I had for you, okay, now here are the things you're going to want to make sure you cover talking about yourself. Again, everything I'm mentioning, make sure you make a bullet point list. Yeah. So when it comes to talking about you specifically for yourself, this is a point in the interview. Look at this. You already started. You told them about how you're going to handle the negotiation. That's a big value right there. You told them, hey, this is how we're going to handle the negotiation. You already built massive value right there, showing them that you have value, you understand your value, and you're not going to take anything. It's massive. You did that within the first minute of the conversation. and you told them, hey, this is how I'm going to lead this interview. Here's what we're going to talk about. Now you're showing them that you're leading the interview. Massive value right there. And then you're telling them that you already know all these special things about the company. Massive value. So already within 5-10 minutes into the interview, you already went from here to here to here to here. If not here. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
90% plus of people don't do the things I've already told you. They sit there with their legs open. I was kidding. Okay, they sit there and they let the person run the show. You're running the show. So this is already big for you, all right?
Yeah.
So now when you're talking about yourself, this is where you're going to be building value. And again, remember when you talk about yourself when it comes directly related to the career and exactly what you're doing outside of the career. They go hand in hand. The purpose of your career is to help benefit your life outside the career. The purpose of your life outside the career is to help benefit your life in the career. So here are the few key points you're going to make sure that you mention. Explain to them. Tell them about your sales experience before starting school. Tell them about customer service experience before starting school. Tell them that you had IT experience while working at a manufacturing company. Tell them that while you're in college, you had 1,000 hours experience in internship.
Yep.
So already you're telling them about all this experience that you have. Tell them about examples. Next, tell them about how you have outside of work. Also tell them that you also want to be an IT specialist. Tell them that you're not interested in just going to work and coming home. You're interested in advancing in your career. Right? That's why you started this. That's your big ambition. Right? And then also tell them what you're doing to make sure that you achieve this career goal is that you're making sure that you're focusing on personal development when you're not in work. So when you're not working, you're working on personal development. What you're working on perfecting your English. You're working at expanding your vocabulary because French is your primary language. You tell them that you read books, right? You're trying to become a better speaker. Because one day, maybe you'd like to even be a public speaker and talk about IT and a public presentation, right? You tell them that one of your big ambitions also is to make enough money with a high enough salary so then that you can afford to invest in getting married, having a nice wedding, having kids. Tell them
pay off the student loan
and pay that off. But don't even worry about that. But that's not even, I won't even really mention that.
Really?
Right? Okay, so I mean, you can.
Sometimes when you bring that up, some corporations they're gonna say, "Yeah, we have some program here to help a student employee to pay off what the student loan." That, yep, they can have.
Okay, we need you to sit up now in the camera now. We need you face. Focus on your eye contact. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's okay. We gotta make sure you're on point because when your interview process is how you want to be. So look, now this is what you tell them. This is what you tell them. You say, I appreciate that. That sounds good. They can help me with my college debt, but I'm not concerned about my college debt. What I'm concerned about is getting paid what I'm worth, getting raises, advancing in my career, so I have extra seed money that I can invest in other ventures when I'm not working, real estate, business adventures, opportunities, invest in my family vacations, stuff like that. That's what I'm interested in. I'm not too concerned about my college debt. That will pay for itself eventually. Okay, that's how you handle that. So next, then you tell them, and you say, by the way, I want to tell you more about myself. Right now, you're probably wondering, what's my weakness? What's my strength? Let me tell you. So you don't have to ask me. My weakness is probably the fact that my English is not my primary.
So you want me to consider my weakness? So beginning for the what's my interview too? I can still do that. After I tell them, say I will talk to you about your company. After I can later talk about my weakness. And
yes, you listen. You're going to start the interview telling them this is how you're going to run it. And then you're going to tell them about how you're handling a negotiation. And then number 3, you talk about them. And then number 4, you talk about you. Okay? It's all recorded. So just like that. So now you're talking about you. You're going to tell them everything. You're going to answer all their concerns so they don't even have to ask you. Okay? Let's not play stupid here.
Mm-hmm.
If they're already going to ask you what's your weakness, what's your strength, let's just tell them.
Mm-hmm.
It's better that you take control of the interview and you just lead it along the way versus you just sit there like a duck quacking and waiting for what they might ask you or not ask you. You tell them what you need to tell them to build your value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you tell them, say, by the way, now you know what I'm doing inside and outside my career. Now let me tell you a little bit more about me. Because you're probably already wondering what's my weakness, what's my strength. My weakness, I'd say, is that English is not my primary language. French is, and I have I really have a really strong accent.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes my words don't come off 100% clearly, as if English was my primary language. So sometimes I talk fast, sometimes I may not finish pronouncing a word. It's only sometimes. And every day I'm consciously working on speaking better English. I'm consciously listening to what I'm saying and trying to speak better. And I always ask people to clarify with me if there's something that I need to say better so I can improve. So I'm working on personally developing my English. Okay? And not only that, but to help me with my weakness, I also read books.
But this is one I was funny thing about you, right? Most of the time, right? All the female, they never complain about why they can't hear me anything. None of that. I don't know why. Right?
Right.
At work, school, no any female can say, "Hey, I can hear you anything." Right? They say you hear me perfectly.
What'd they say?
They never complain. Tell me say, "Hey, I can hear you," but they hear me clearly. Sometimes they say, "Hey, I like your accent," but sometimes I don't know because for men, I don't know when I speak was very fast. So far, that's what they come and they say, "Hey, I can live it." I say so. I kind of figure out that's why. Somebody tell me, "Okay, yeah, when you speak to a woman, they go, it's going to be different when you speak with a guy."
So you're saying that sometimes there's people that may not understand you, but they don't say nothing?
No, I say I never have an issue with like I want to talk to female. It's like in school, work, stuff like that. No female ever say, okay, I have a hard time to hear you. They never complain about it. But even some of them they like my accent.
Oh, so females, you have no problems, but sometimes you have a problem with the guy.
Yeah, only the guy because I can say like, oh, maybe when you talk to a female, the guy always different. Because I see now because sometimes when you speak as a guy or you might be what talk about because you use a guy with a long stuff like that. Well, but no one time any girl will tell you they say, okay,
That's good.
I can hear you. Yeah.
It's because the women like you.
I don't know because that's what I'm saying. Is a lot of people tell me, hey, because what? Because when men talk to females, always different in the way when they talk to them among the guys and stuff. So that's why I say I can't figure out. Okay, yeah, when I speak, if you guys, I say because me, I'm very fast so speaking. That's
Right,
why
right,
you got, yeah, I can see that.
right. And here's the thing: it's really not much. It's really not that much of a weakness. It's not. It's just
Mm,
something for you to say,
mm,
and it just shows that you're working on developing yourself, right?
mm,
So you can let them know, hey, let them know that that you like to read, right? Hopefully,
mm,
I'd actually recommend that you read anyways. I recommend that you read
mm,
it. Have you
mm,
ever read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
mm.
Have you read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
No, it's like I heard that one time.
You should read that book. I'll have to send you a link to it, but it's really good. It's by Robert Kiyosaki. Everybody
Mm.
reads that book. Um,
Yeah.
one
I
day,
heard one time in school. Yeah, I heard somebody tell it one time.
it's good.
I
I'll,
never.
I'll have to send you a link to it. But you should read it. Reading will help you with your vocabulary. Reading will
Mm.
help you speak better
Okay,
English.
make sure when you're done, send me the link.
I will send you a link. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So I'm going to work on eventually come out with a book called. I'll tell you about it. I have one book coming out called Negotiate Your Mark, but I have another financial book coming out in the future. But anyways,
Mm.
so okay, so there's that. Tell them that you read to help better your English. Tell them you're working on that, but also
Mm.
tell them that tell them that one of your strengths also are the fact that you do speak two languages
Mm.
and that you understand English just as well as you understand French. So let them know that you have no problem understanding English as a secondary
Mm.
language. So that's a strength. The fact you know two languages. I only know one. That's a big one. And then also tell them that now when it comes to your strength, tell them, say, by the way, now my strength is that my strength has to do with one word, and that is innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is that I am a quick learner.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is that when there is a problem, I can innovate and learn how to solve it quickly while I'm in it. And I can find a solution with that problem right away. Also, I'm very good at innovating by seeing a potential problem before it even happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make sure that we avoid it. Also, I'm very good at being innovative.
Problem solver.
Yeah. I'm also very good at innovating by seeing something and a way to maybe improve it, make it better. So it's important that when you say these things, it sounds good, but then they're going to ask you, okay, well, how are you innovative? Tell us, explain to us. Explain to them how you're able to avoid a potential problem. Explain to them how you were able to solve a problem as it happened, when it came out of nowhere. Explain to them how you could make something more efficient or more productive.
Yeah.
That's innovation. So you need 3 examples to back up what you're saying.
Yep.
Okay, next. Also, the next one is this. Experience. When it comes to your experience, you say, hey, listen, now you're probably wondering if I have enough experience for your position at your company. And here's the thing. I'll tell you this right now. I have lots of experience. Okay, I had experience before I even had a job in IT. I had experience before I started school. I had experience while I was in school. I had a 1,000-hour internship for experience. I have lots of experience doing this. Okay, and then I want you to list all these examples. Tell them what experience you had before your school, before you start going to college. Tell them about an experience that you had at work before you interned. Tell them about an experience that you had in your internship. Tell them about all these experiences. List at least 3 to 4 different experiences to show them that you have experience solving IT problems or providing solutions. Okay? And then tell them this. Say, listen, I may not have 10 years of experience in the career, but I have more than enough experience that I need to fulfill the position in your company successfully. I have more than enough experience to solve any problems I will encounter in your position at your company. I have more than enough experience to avoid potential problems when working there. I have more than enough experience to run that position efficiently and productive, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. Productivity, blah, blah, blah.
That's what's the productivity. That's
Anyways, okay,
yeah, productivity,
so, there you go, yeah. I'm trying to say that. Okay. So you tell them that. And you say, the only thing that's really going to help you when it comes to experience is to actually have that experience working with their company and learning about their company. That's the experience that would actually help you. Camera froze. Okay, I'm back. All right, so if there's any more experience you need, the only experience you need to get any better with them is to actually work with their company. And by working with their company, then you figure out exactly how their systems work and how their employees work and how their company works specifically. So that's how you handle that. And then also give them an example about how you work with coworkers. Say, by the way, you're probably wondering, how do I work with coworkers? Tell them about the example where you helped your friend, you trained him on that skill to help him out with his IT job. Say, you're probably wondering how I am with customers.
I provide that one to last interview too.
Good. Now, and then also tell them, say, hey, this is how I am with customers. Tell them an experience how you are with the customers. Okay, tell them how you are when it comes to leadership. Give them an example. Okay, and then the last one is this. This is key. a very, very important one. You say this. You say, if I was to work with you and your company, here's how I would help you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you review their website, okay, you build your value by saying all these things. Like the big thing that you say.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're probably wondering how I can specifically help your company out right now. Well, based off all the research I've done on your website, here's a potential problem I think you could have, and here's how I would solve that problem. By the way, based off the research I've done on your website, here's a potential problem I think you'd have here. Here's how I would solve that. Based off the research on your website, here's something that I would do that would help your company if I worked for you. And to answer these questions, you have to literally research on the website. Remember that one website we saw at Olerica where the numbers were messed up?
Mm-hmm.
You see that? The numbers were messed up. They were overlapping each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if I worked at your company, you see this page on your website, I would fix this. But since I'm not there, you have this problem. If I was there, this wouldn't be a problem. It's very, very key. Because now they're wondering, when you build all this value for yourself, at the very end they're thinking, okay, cool, this sounds great. He has a lot of value. But if we hired Charles, how could he actually help our company? They're thinking that. So to show them that you have the ability to read their mind, by telling them, you're probably thinking this. How can I be of value to you if I work with you now? You tell them. It's called penetrating past the sale. Penetrating past the sale into the relationship. Okay. Penetrating past the sale into the relationship. Another thing that they're not going to teach you in college.
Pass the sale into
the relationship. That's where you put the exclamation mark on your value in the interview as you're negotiating to build your altitude. Okay, so there's that, and then now at the very end, this is where you sit back and you say, okay, guys. Now, do you have any other questions when it comes to you guys and your company? Any questions on how I can help you? Any questions for me? Because now you understand what I know about you. Now you understand about my value. Now I want you guys to tell me about you. Now I want you guys to tell me about your company. Tell me about what it would be like to work with your company. Tell me what it would look like in a typical day in this position. Tell me why somebody like me would want to work for you. Tell me about the career opportunities you have in your company. Tell me about some of the success stories you have at your company for your employees. So tell me about why it's great to work there. What's it like? What's your culture like? Tell me about your advancement opportunities. Tell me about your compensation opportunities. Tell me about your vacations. Tell me about your bonuses. What do you got? Because so far I'm talking to a few different people that I could potentially work with, and now I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about yourselves and what you have to offer. So far I learned a lot about your website, but now I want you to tell me more about your company specifically. Follow me?
Yeah. And essentially, after we done, I say, if you have any question for me, that's what I'm asking. I say, you guys have a career advancement opportunity. So that's why I say yes. And if you get there, you will have opportunity every time. So if you want, we help you to climb the ladder of success of here. Yeah. Something I understand.
Got it. So then now, okay, hey, Charles, you just sit up, my friend. Lean into the camera. Okay, now we're about done with this now. So let's talk about this now. So when it comes to the very end, negotiation. Now, so now they're telling you about themselves, right, and what they have to offer, their value. Then they're going to ask you. They're going to say, Charles, so what would you like us to? What do you want to be paid? What do you want per hour? What do you say?
Uh, After I do my research, I see I want to be paying about average of a head technician that did help technician tax. And you're gonna say how much? And so I said it's $21 per hour. Uh,
No,
mhm,
Carls, you do not
mhm.
say the number. No.
Okay, don't say a number.
Okay,
Okay.
look. This is the first interview.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is before they decide to hire you. So when you're having the first interview, so watch. So ask me. Say, Thomas, what would you like us to pay you? Go ahead, say it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, say it.
What you like to hire you?
Say no. Say, Thomas, what do you want to be paid?
Tell me how many money you pay.
Well, I want to let you know that before we decide on compensation and a salary, I want to take some time to think about everything that we talked about in this interview.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to just make a quick decision. I want to review a lot of the things that you told me when it comes to your company.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to sit back and see if there's any other questions I may have for you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I had 2 interviews last week,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me 2 offers. And I have another interview coming up later on this week. So first I want to review the information you gave me, see what makes sense to me, and if there's any other questions I have, so I can make an intelligent decision based off the offer and what's best for both of us. Also, I need to take in consideration the other 3 offers that I will have in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to make sure that I pick the best company that I should work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I find out after weighing out these 4 opportunities that you're the best one for me, well, then that would tell me that I should work with you guys.
Okay.
If not, then maybe I need to work
Okay.
with somebody else.
Repeat that line again. If you find that.
So
Okay.
what I'm saying is that I know you guys are already considering possibly working with me, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But again, before
Yeah.
I can make a decision, I have to make sure I make a decision what's best for me and what's best for you. I have to weigh out all 4 options that I'll have in front of me to make sure that I pick the best company that's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I find out after reviewing your offer and the other 3 offers that you're not the best company for me, but another company's better for me, okay, great. Or maybe I find out after reviewing your offer and the other 3 offers that your company's best for me, great. But I want to make sure that I pick the best company that I'm best suited for,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would like to schedule a time to follow up with you
Mm-hmm.
to where I can review the things we talked about in this interview and ask you any questions I may have.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we follow up, I'd like to let you know what my decision is. Because by then, I'll have had a chance to have my interview later on this week. And then I'll have had a chance to review all 4 offers. And then I'll have a chance to really give you a intelligent answer after I've had a chance to look at everything. Does that sound fair? Does that sound good?
Huh?
Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So when would be a good time that we could have a follow-up? How about sometime, not later on this week, but how about on Monday?
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the interview, and I look forward to following up with you soon on Monday.
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right.
So that's how you do that.
Okay.
So again, what you're doing is, listen to me. On the initial interview, you don't give a number. What you do is you let them know is that you want to review the information from the interview. You want to see if there's any other questions you have, so you can then make sure you can make an intelligent decision on an offer that's fair for the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
And also you want to review your other offers you have to make sure you pick the company that's best for you. So can we schedule a follow-up? You see? By doing this, this makes sense. Because you don't want to rush. Listen, what you're doing is you're telling them that you don't make emotional decisions. You're telling them that you're not reactive. You're showing them that you have emotional control. You show them that you're a proactive thinker. You show them that you're logical. You show them that you're intelligent. These are all very good qualities to have on the floor when you're at work in your career.
Okay.
You understand?
For like what's called a no country now, I tell you that they say they're gonna need people early next month to start hiring, because if they call me this week, that means they could move to hiring process. Okay, so because since they're gonna say they won't gonna wait longer to wait for hiring process. So during negotiation, so I got to tell them again to get a uh, follow up to give them what's called my negotiations to tell them, so I got another job stuff like that. So what happened now? Because since they say they are hiring a pool of people this week alone. So if I tell them now, they didn't what coming back, so they go hire bring somebody else.
Right. Okay. So what we're
So
going to do
is any tactic any way I can make them what decide to negotiate right away for me then?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
then
And
we move forward, because since that they say this way, if they call say next week or the end of the month we're gonna have everybody hired, so they're gonna start a job. So
yeah, because what they're saying is, okay, look, because you've already had this interview, I'm walking you through a structure, okay? Everything I've given you so far on this recording is what you're going to use on, you can use this more on your next interview, and I will be helping you more with it, right? So no two interviews are the same. They're different. They're not scripted. They're all a little bit different, but they all kind of follow a lot of, kind of like a framework. So you've already had the interview. So everything we just talked about is talking as if you didn't have the interview.
Keep my result 10 o'clock. I have to go pick out of there.
Yeah, hold on. But so you've already had this interview that we're already talking about, right? So you're after this process that I just gave you. So now we're talking about the follow-up, right? So now we're talking about the follow-up. Okay, this is 37 minutes into the recording, right? So here's what you're going to do right now in the follow-up. So here's the follow-up, okay? And we'll talk more about this one-on-one later on. So when they call you back, they told you had what's key for you is this, is that you had an interview with the manager. That's key. Okay, you had an interview with the manager. That shows you that you could have had an interview with a recruiter, but instead the manager came on with you. So that tells me they're already thinking about hiring you as it is, because they had the manager talk to you. So they're telling you that when they contact you, that means that they've decided to move you further in the hiring process. That means they see value in you. That means that you are one of the top people they've interviewed. Boom. And if they believe that you're one of the top people they interviewed, that means that you are above average. Follow me? That means you can get paid above average. Okay? Now, in the first recording we did today, we went through this in great detail, exactly what to say. Okay, so the very first recording, but I'm going to go over that right now. Okay, so let's talk about this. So when you have the follow-up, okay, and what I'll do is I'll cut you off a segment so we can just watch this piece. So when you have this follow-up, here's how this is going to go. All right, they're going to call you, you're going to have this interview, okay? And the first thing you're going to talk about is salary. It's the first thing, okay? And first of all, you need to be very clear on what they have to offer you, because when they call you, they're already basically agreeing, committing to hiring you, which gives you altitude already in the negotiation. You follow me? You need to sit forward now, okay? Like you're in the interview. Okay, so when you're on this call, first you need to start by asking the questions. You need to system. Say, well, before we talk about salary and everything, starting there, first I have some questions to ask you guys to be clear on. First of all, I need to know, okay, is there potential to get promoted in a career in your company? Because I'm looking forward to looking for a company. I want to work with a company that I have an opportunity to advance in, because I am not interested in staying in the same position year after year. I want to advance because eventually I plan on being an IT specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So before we continue talking about me working there, first I need to make it very clear that there will be an opportunity for me to advance if I decide to work with you and join your company.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a no, then you're not working there. If it's a yes, and you say, okay, great, I like to hear that. The next thing you need to say is this. You need to say, okay, great. Well, since you guys are contacting me today, that means you guys have come to the conclusion that I am one of the best people to work at your company for this position.
Mm-hmm.
Which tells me that you guys believe that I am at least average or above average for this position. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, boom. Now they just agreed that you're worth at least average or above average. That's called a price anchor.
Okay.
Okay, this has to do with NLP and New English programming. So look, so here's what happens. What are your numbers here? Now, you're going to say, great. Okay, awesome. Good. Thank you for understanding my value and seeing that I'm worth at least average or above average. So with that being said, now let's talk about when it comes to salary. Okay. No, hold on. Then you say, okay, now I have some questions. Do you guys have any concerns when it comes to salary or payment over there? Any concerns? Anything you want to talk to me about? No, let me think. Yeah. So then you say, no, don't say that. X that out. Don't say that. Don't say that. Then say this. Okay, then say this. Say, okay, great. So you guys see me as average or above average. All right, well, in my career field, this is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
An IT tech that's below average on the low pay scale is making $32,000 a year, $15.38 an hour. An average IT guy a year on career will be making $44K a year, $21.15 per hour. The best IT guys make $62K a year, $29.80 per hour. Now, it's very clear to the both of us that I'm not below average. If it was below average, you guys wouldn't be calling me today. You guys are contacting me today because we already can both agree that I'm at least average or above average.
Mm-hmm.
And my GPA shows that I'm already above average. Over 1,000 hours of experience, I've been able to solve problems and develop solutions. I'm way above average. So with that being said, a salary that is fair and that makes sense is a salary that can pay me $29.80 an hour all the way around to $21.15 per hour. Somewhere in there, that would make sense. That would be fair.
Okay.
Anything that's not in that range would not be fair and would not make sense to the both of us.
Okay. Good.
So, what do you guys have in mind? What are you thinking? Mention the Fargo concern. Mention that.
Okay.
Tell me right now.
Okay. The
What's
Fargo area. Okay, the Fargo area we pay based on the market value here, so we start. That's why I can come back. So, okay, when I
No,
check them,
listen, we're role playing. I want you to ask me right now, what would be the concern? Tell me, what are they going to say?
they're gonna say that the market rate, the market rate.
Okay, if you were the potential employer, what are you saying to me? Go.
I would say be based on the market rates here, so we cannot go above the average.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me Basically what you're telling me is this. In the Fargo area, you guys are only paying how much?
$17 per hour.
Okay. Okay, well, I have a question for you. Are you interested in only hiring employees that are below average and that are not invested in your company's growth? Or are you interested in investing in employees that are worth above average and that want to help your company grow to the next level? What type of employee are you trying to hire?
Okay, the one who help grow and above average.
Okay. Well, then you have to understand is that I'm not going to work with a company that's going to pay me based off their location. This is a specialized skill that I've spent $20,000 to learn. I want to work with a company that's going to pay me based off my name, Charles, and my skill. So are you going to pay me based off the location? Or are you going to pay me based off who I am, my skill, and the value that I can bring to your company to help your company grow?
Okay, I want to pay you based on help a company grow.
Okay. All right. So then again, what makes sense is that I'm above average. I'm an investment in your company because I'm going to be the type of employee that can help your company grow because I'm also looking to grow with your company. So I'm looking forward to work with a company that wants to invest in their employees by paying them at least what they're worth. So what do you guys have in mind?
Okay. I'm gonna think about it and give a call back.
Okay. Well, I need to know a number. Are you guys willing to pay me what I'm worth or not?
Okay. We will pay you what you worth. We'll pay
Okay.
about it.
So no, okay, I'm not here to think about it. I have 4 other options on the table. I've waited a week for you guys to call me. You guys should already know what you want. You shouldn't need anything else to think about. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to do this deal or not? Because I need to know either you're serious about doing this and working with me, or you're not.
Deal.
Okay, so what's the deal? What are you guys interested in paying me? What's the deal?
I'll pay you that very salary.
Which is what?
It's $21 per hour.
Okay, now my other question is, so you're telling me that starting pay is $21 an hour? Okay, so is there an opportunity for a pay increase within the next 3 to 4 months?
Yes.
Okay, and is there opportunity for me to advance in the career?
Yes.
Okay, so within 3 to 4 months, if I show you that I am actually above value and I can help a company grow, can you give me a pay increase from 21 to $22 an hour?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. All right, so when do I come in there and meet you guys?
What about Tuesday?
Great. Any questions?
No.
So here's the thing. Also, tell me again. Okay, and then watch. Then also say to me, well, we can only pay you average. Hello, Charles. I need you here. This is important. Okay, so you say we can only I know we're almost done. So then you say well, we don't know if we can only pay you we can only pay you like, you know, be like say why should we pay you average?
Because I show you.
No, ask me the question.
Okay, why we should pay you average?
Well, because I've demonstrated to you that I'm worth at least average or above average, and we agreed upon it. And I'm looking to grow with the company and help the company grow. And right now, I have at least one offer that is willing to pay me at least average. So if you want me to work with you guys, I need to know that you're at least willing to match that offer. and pay me at least average. And then also, I do need to confirm that there are also an opportunity for me to potentially get a promotion or raise in the next couple months.
Okay.
Charles,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking away.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I need you. I need you here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions?
Huh? No. So yeah, we'll see you on Tuesday. So we're gonna make a deal.
Okay, good. So that's how you handle that. I
Mm-hmm.
will give you this. I will cut off the end of it and you can watch it.
Okay.
So they could be calling you anytime next week, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because from tomorrow now, I'm going to start making a lot of applications. So I know every time when you send application, I always keep calling. So I'm going to make it. So
Good. So what I want you to do is tomorrow I want you to review the video, okay?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like 20 minutes. Hello,
Okay.
Charles, we're still on the call. Charles.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay, so I want you to review the video, the
Mm-hmm.
last 20 minutes or so,
Mm-hmm.
and practice how to
Mm-hmm.
handle.
Yeah.
So I want you to review the last 20 minutes and practice
Mm-hmm.
on how to handle the negotiation and maybe even do a role play with your roommate. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even potentially tomorrow night, if you have time, give me a call and we can do some role playing.
Okay.
Okay? So just make sure that I would recommend
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. You say you're gonna send me that video, right? You send me that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna send it to you, and
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
can,
Mm-hmm.
and then
To
you
the
can
school
watch
too. Yeah.
it, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
watch it at school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good, good, and just write it down on paper and kind of practice. Okay, you got this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna get you average pay, all right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
And again, listen. When it comes to the pay, hey,
Mm-hmm.
tell them, say, look, I know you guys. Okay, you guys are growing as a company. You're a global company. You're hiring a lot of people. You're growing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So investing in me, paying me at least average or above average, you're not going to see the pay difference. Okay? Because I'm going to be an asset to your company and I'm going to make you more money than what you pay me.
Okay.
Okay? So you guys can afford to pay me more money than they pay in the Fargo area.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's not an expense, it's an investment to pay
Okay.
me average or above. Because I'm going to grow your company. I'm going to advance the company. I'm going to help your company advance also.
Okay.
So these are all things to think about when it comes to the negotiation, okay? All right, good. I'll see you in the video and have a good night.
Okay. You too, man.